yeah, so that's what we did last time. He's a bit bigger, isn't he, than my orangutan? I don't know which are bigger. Are gorillas bigger or orangutans bigger?
I think gorillas are bigger.
Orangutans are pretty big though, aren't they?
We're going back to sound on this one.
Okay, we'll go back to the sound on that one. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear me. Can you all start... Can you hear me better? Is it starting to... Don't touch him. I told you, he's soft. He's very soft. I've literally just made him.
There you go.
He's got a random piece of paste in his arm holding him up as well, because I thought I'll go for a slightly more complicated, not that it's complicated, but a slightly more complicated position by having his arm up to his head, but the weight of the paste wasn't really setting very quick, so I've had to put a piece of paste in the middle that once he's firmed up, I'll just push the piece of paste out the middle. So we might try that. We might go for something a bit safer in the video that hopefully won't fall apart, but we'll see. But what we're going to use...
Waiting on this camera now.
What I'm going to use is I'm going to use the Saraceno. So I know you're thinking, where's the blue on it? His body is in the orange. You can use white modelling paste. It doesn't even have to be Saraceno. I just like this one because of the cocoa butter. It's nice for me to work with it. I'm lazy. I like it pre-coloured. Also, I really like this colour. It's a nice colour for it. So the body...
It's quite a bright orange, isn't it?
It's a very bright orange, yeah. I like it. My animals are quite bright for my little safari collection. Should be enough with one pack if you're doing it that size. Obviously, if you're going bigger, you might need more. The face is actually black and the blue mixed together. But if you didn't want to use the blue, you could just put black and white together. I just thought, oh, I'll see what it looks like with a bit of blue in. So that's what's in the face and even in the hands. So those two are mixed together. And then when it's come to like the kind of nose mouth area and the hands, I've added a bit of white then to the blue and black that I had mixed up. So that's what we're going to use. Those of you that have been watching all the videos, it's kind of all the same tools and equipment that we've been using in the previous ones. Okay, I'm just going to move my little weighing scales over.
Just bring it down there. Move it. You can show the tools.
Pardon?
Yeah, you're on top down camera.
I'm just going to move him to one side. I don't know if you can still see him or not, but we'll start with our paste. Sorry, I took it out and started kneading it earlier. Sometimes the paste is really soft, sometimes it's really hard. I've opened 2 blocks of orange because obviously I was going to make 2. One of my blocks was really hard and one was fairly soft. So they're different every time. If they're a bit hard, just stick them in a microwave for just a few seconds. And not many, like maybe 5 seconds at a time should be plenty for it. And in the body, there's actually quite a bit of paste actually in this one's body. Quite a bit more than there was in the gorilla's body, even though this doesn't look bigger than the gorilla. So we'll just put on our weighing scales. Did many of you guys see the gorilla one? Richard wasn't reading out your comments
sorry,
to
I
me.
was
So
looking at all technical issues. I think...
can people still not hear me?
Yeah, no, you can do. But I think Emily's had internet problems from her end as well, so she's only just got online as well. So she messaged her.
Usually it's us with the internet problems, isn't it?
It's always us with internet problems.
Is it just because we're in the big old stone building?
I don't know. I think it's...
Why would that go to 0? Not that 3 grams makes much difference, but... I don't know, I can't see my weighing scales if I don't lean over. Let's see how much paste we've got here. I think I probably need more than that, but... 99, no, that's probably about what I want, I think. Put another pinch in just to make sure. I'll go for about 100 grams, and then we are going to need the rest for arms and stuff, or pretty much the rest, I think. This one's got big arms, like it's the arms, I think, that make him look more orangutan-like. That and the long hair. And him being orange. And his face. I was looking at pictures of the orangutans, because they're all so different. Like, when I picture them, I always picture them, you know, with the big disc thing that's on the face. It's not technically a disc, is it? I don't really know what it is.
I don't think it's a disc.
Some hard bits.
Do you know what I found quite hard? The actual spelling of orangutan. I didn't realise there's that many different variations on spelling it when I was trying to put it into the computer.
Is there? I thought it was just one way to spell it.
Evidently there's quite a few. So I probably spelt it incorrectly on our Facebook page. I've noticed that I've also put, join us, when I was rushing this morning, it says, join us for today's Facebook Live and watch Zoe crest Oscar the orangutan.
It's alright, people just think I've written it.
I know.
Because I misspell everything. So we've got about 100 grams. We're going to make it a little bit taller first. This one, I didn't put a stick through the middle of him because his head rests on like a little shelf bit. So what I did was, can you see it's a little bit thinner up near the top than near the bottom.
2 angles, that's fine.
And then this top bit here, I kind of pressed. So I thought that would become like the shoulders here. And by pulling out a little bit here, his head can sit on there. Because with the orangutans, sometimes they look like they've got big square shoulders. I think it depends on if it's the man or the woman.
And if you've been watching Disney kind of cartoons.
Yeah, this one isn't quite the same as that one. Yeah, can you see we've got a little shelf here? And then the other thing I want to do is create like a bit of a belly. I've not worked too much on rubbing out my creases and cracks. I mean, really I should have spent a bit longer on that, but because I'm going to put hairlines in, they're going to cover a lot of those creases and cracks, so I'm not worrying too much about that. So, just a little bit lower than my ledge. Let's give him a belly. I've decided it's a he. So you can see I'm just kind of pushing around there with my finger. So we get this bit of a belly, pregnant looking belly.
Pregnant looking belly.
That sticks out. Okay, so it's going to make him look quite slumped as well if the belly sticks out, which I think they're a fairly slumped looking animal. I'm just going to go in a little bit deeper there for kind of under his chest. Maybe even bring it around here a bit. To be honest, you're not going to see this line a lot when I put the hair in anyway. So before I do too much more, I'm actually going to put hairlines on here. So you don't need loads. You can use, I know some of you guys bought the golf, was it called golf tool? The thing, the metal Cerat tool with lots of lines. That's probably going to be easier for you guys. I actually don't have mine anymore because we'd run out in the shop and somebody really wanted one. So they've got mine. So hopefully I'll get some more of them in stock. It just means it puts more than one line in at a go for you. Whereas this, obviously, I can only put one line in at a time. It's up to you how many lines. If I put, I'll try and show you in the back, lots of short lines, it's going to make the hair look really short. And actually, it's got quite long hair. So anywhere that you want the hair to look longer, we'll draw longer lines. And also, can you see me trying to go over any creases and cracks? Okay, so it might be that actually the hair is a bit shorter in some places than others on the orangutan, but it's going to have just fairly long hair everywhere, I think. So I'm concentrating a lot on that bottom area. The bottom of the body, I mean, it's not its actual bottom. Okay. I've not put as many over the centre of the tummy, but if you want more on, that's fine. I don't want you guys to get bored of watching me just putting lines in.
We have this all the time. I don't think anybody gets bored of watching you.
You know, see, when I watch tutorials, like, I like to see how things are done, but then sometimes if they're just repeating the same thing, I think, yeah, I've seen you do that now. I've got the hang of that. You can just move on to the next bit.
I think that's sometimes good when we do like ones that I've already recorded, because you can just like speed up these bits, can't you? When it's just literally
if you don't want to watch them, yeah. So we've got like his chest and tummy. Yeah, I think on the female ones they don't have the big kind of disc thing on the face. Somebody's said we got any orangutan experts. I don't even know if I say it right. Is it how you say it? Orangutan? Orangutan. I always thought it began with a U and it doesn't, does it? So
orangutan.
In fact,
So I was confused whether it had a G on the end or not, because the spelling I found doesn't have a G on the end, but then some of them do have a G on the end, like orangutan.
You said you're looking up different spellings. Are you just looking at where people have misspelled it?
No, Wikipedia seems to have loads of different spellings for orangutan.
Okay.
Tongue.
Probably best looking in a dictionary for a spelling rather than Wikipedia, maybe. Right.
Possibly.
Head. Let's see if this one's going to have the same size head or a different size head. To be honest, the ball at the back is just the very back of the head, so you're not going to see it too much. I've got about 28 grams. I probably don't even need quite as much as that, to be honest. I'm just going to see if I can roll some of the creases out. I know I said it doesn't matter if it's got some cracks in, but that one had quite a few cracks, so I'm just going to try and roll those out. Okay, I want it fairly flat at the front, so what I'm going to do is squash my ball against the table.
Let's just switch the camera.
I think I've left enough for arms in there. Hopefully I have. I'm just going to have a look at how much paste I've got, because I'm going to cut a tiny bit off the face just so I've got a tiny bit more. I think in my arms, you see the front arms, I wrote down somewhere about 35 grams in each arm. So I'm only a tiny bit short. I'm just going to cut a tiny bit off the front. So fairly rounded at the back, and you guys all see that, and fairly flat at the front. And then this will sit onto our body there like that.
Just going to switch the cameras if we keep it there. That's it. Yeah.
And I didn't have to put a stick in on that one. Actually, I did it. I had to put one in his arm, but in his body, I didn't have to put one. So let's just put a little bit of water on here. And let's push this onto there. I'm going to put some hairlines in. So kind of on the top. Don't worry about putting any kind of features on the front bit. We're not really going to see too much of that. You can dip it down a little bit here, because that bit, just that very top bit, we might see a tiny bit of. But probably not much. I'm going to stick him extra hair on at the end. Well, not the end, but a bit further along. Okay. So.
Thank you for all the stars, everybody.
Oh, thanks for the stars, guys.
Zoe can't see these things.
No, I can't see them.
But yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
appreciated. And we appreciate everybody's watching us as well.
We do. Especially now a lot of people are back at work as well, so it's nice to still have people that are managing to tune in for the live.
They may be tuning in whilst at work.
Maybe. Possibly. Well, don't get a lot of these guys are cake decorators, so.
Yes, so they'll be.
No, I don't know whether to go as dark or
So
lighter.
does this class as on the job training then?
Yeah.
Do you know, do cake decorators have to do, when I used to work in one of my officey jobs, I used to have to do, is it CD, what was it? Yeah, you have to do all the training, didn't you? So many
like
hours.
personal development.
Yeah, you have to do so many hours a year, personal development training.
If you work for yourself, you don't have to, but cake decorators generally are constantly learning. The bigger the piece of this you use, obviously the bigger the face and the head is going to look. So, you know, if you wanted to go a bit bigger than that, that would be fine. If you didn't want to go as big, you wouldn't have to. I feel like I should have done one with a slightly different face. I think I might go a bit lighter with the.
I'm gonna
just
test.
giving it a bit more of a need.
I'm gonna test the audience. Does anybody remember the name of the orangutan in Jungle Book?
I do.
I can't actually remember it myself. I should do, but I can't. What other famous orangutans have they been? Oh, the one that was with Clint Eastwood.
Oh, isn't that? Oh no, I don't know what it was called actually. That one.
Is it Clyde?
Yeah, it
No.
might have been.
Oh, I think it was Clyde, maybe. But anyway.
I used to like that film when I was a kid. Okay, I think I'm going to go for about this amount. This might actually be a bit more than that one. Let's see how much it was. And I weighed it already and I forgot it's almost 30.
Go on.
So yeah. Can you see that it was blue that mixed into it? I don't know if it really shows very well.
Not really.
I've just not mixed it in very well. Mix yours in better, guys. I'm going to put some water on the front of the face. I'm going to squash this.
I'm going to switch cameras again.
Onto the front of the face. So can you see it's fairly big, it's fairly chunky, so it makes it stick out quite a lot. So if you don't want to use as much, you don't want it sticking out as far, this is probably going to give him quite a deep furrowed brow, you see?
Yeah, I'll just go and top down a second. There you go. I'm actually going to 2 cameras for this one.
Okay.
There you go. That's
So,
fine. Yeah.
Can you see it from the side?
Yeah, as long as
Yeah.
you keep him roughly where he is.
Okay. So can you see if I do this here? So I'm pressing to squeeze it bigger.
It was King Louis.
I know it was.
Okay, well, I didn't. And it was Clyde as well.
I knew it was King Louis. So this top bit, where I press my fingers in, or I'm pressing my fingers kind of in the middle bit, not the top bit, but it leaves the top bit bigger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it downwards a little bit. So we have a bit of a dip here. Again, you don't have to dip it down. If you prefer it completely rounded, you can leave it rounded. But I figured this one's going to look angry.
Are you going to give him a scar like you did with Chris?
My crocodile. I don't know. We'll see. And I think it's usually a little bit wider down here at the bottom. Is my hand in the way of what I'm doing?
No, you can see it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes a little bit wider down here than it is at this top bit. So maybe if I just nudge it in a little bit there. Okay, this bit here is going to be covered up shortly anyway. So this bit here was, I'm going to go a bit lighter than this actually.
Okay.
That was just some of my leftover paste, which, can you guys remember what colours I said I used in that? Who remembers?
We'll find out in a second when we get a few comments.
But I'm going to mix a bit more white into it just to lighten it a little bit. I'm going to save a bit of white to one side for the eyes. And then, let's see, I'll start with this much first and we'll see what it looks like. For whether I like the colour with that much white. I only cut off so much white off my block, so if it's not light enough, it's staying this colour anyway. That's how lazy
How much weight did you use for the face? Can you remember?
Was it 30? For this bit, I think
Yeah.
it was 29 point something, so about 30.
Yeah, so it's about 30 grams, Cheryl.
I'm just trying to see
We
if
think?
it looks the same. This one might be slightly bigger than the last one, so I think I've maybe used about 25 for the original one, and this one's got about 30 in.
Well, like I say,
bigger.
they're always slightly different, aren't they, when you do
Yeah.
two of the...
I'm trying to make them even bigger around here, just because sometimes I like it to look different. And maybe I'll give this one a beard. When I was looking, a lot of like the big male ones have like a little beard going on.
Yeah.
So I might give it one of that. King Louis doesn't. I checked out King Louis. King Louis doesn't have this. Well, actually, no, on the one where they use like proper looking animals, he does, I think, but on the cartoon one he doesn't.
Did you use blue, black and white paste?
I did.
Well done. Thank you very much, Denise.
Well done, Denise. Someone was listening.
I could have just watched the video again and rewound it.
Alright.
That's what they might have done, you know. I could have just rewound the video. Well, I don't know if you can actually do that when it's live, like maybe.
No.
Maybe you
I
can.
don't know actually. I don't know. Okay, it's a tiny bit lighter. I don't think there's much difference. Could even go for like a bit more blue in it if you wanted to change the colour.
Yeah.
I was going to say it depends how realistic you want it, but
Somebody
it's not
mentioned that
realistic
you're going to
anyway.
need to create a zookeeper to go.
Yeah.
Zookeeper or an ark. Because you've got two of each animal nearly.
And then I'm just trying to decide if it looks better with like a smaller muzzle area. Oh, it's not really a muzzle, is it? It's a muzzle if it's like a dog. Like nose and mouth, is it? I don't know. Or if it looks better with something a bit bigger.
This is quite interesting. Joy's just mentioned that in Adelaide they have a day dedicated to saving the orangutan called Ranga Day, when redheads get to go into the zoo for free.
Yeah, that's good. Are you allowed to go in as a redhead if you've dyed your hair a different colour?
Because you're a redhead, aren't you?
Well, strawberry blonde.
Okay, there you go, technically. My brother's also strawberry blonde according to him. He's...
Oh no, your brother's red.
Yeah, he's also got the temper of a redhead. Not that I'm saying redheads have tempers.
I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
Right, so I forgot what that was already. Look, because you was distracting me. Almost 6 grams I'm going to put in. So we've rolled it into a little ball and I'm going to press it tight against the face. In fact, maybe I've made this one a bit big. It's up to you whether you want to keep it round or if you want to change the shape. I've tried to kind of make mine a little bit flatter at the bottom. But it doesn't matter actually. Maybe I've gone a bit big with this one. Because I wanted him so angry looking that I've pushed this so far down that I don't have much space. But it's okay. That'll be alright like that. Okay, so in fact I'm going to put my eye sockets in next just because I'll end up knocking the nose if I do more on the nose. Just like the other ones, we're going to use this balling tool. So I've put the eyes on this closer together than I have on some of the other figures that we've done.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still going to go, I was going to keep them really tiny, but I decided to go a bit bigger. They're still not like massive, the eyes that I'm putting on these ones, but they're a little bit bigger. Can you see it's because it's soft when I've done that, it's kind of giving me like a little lip bit underneath. So rather than trying to disguise it, what I did on the other one was I just drew him some bags under his eyes. Some big bags. I don't know if orangutans actually have bags under their eyes or not.
Depends if they're tired.
Do they get bags? I don't know.
I get bags.
I made a bit of a mess with that bag. I should have used a different tool really that was a bit softer than this one for it. I should have really used. See how lazy I am? It was only there and I couldn't be bothered picking it up. Something a bit softer like that for it. And of course you don't have to give yours bags at all. You can leave it without. It looks absolutely fine without. I just sometimes like playing around with the different things that you can add to the face. Okay, I'm going to give him a tiny bit more to the top of the nose. So if we just take a really tiny piece, I'm not going to weigh this out, this bit. Go with whatever you like the look of. Tiny piece. Bit of water on there. Can you see that on there, Richard, where I just...
Yeah, you're on both. Well, you're on both cameras.
I'm going to kind of roll it to a little bit of a teardrop. It's got a little crack in it. Let's put that underneath. And we're going to put it on there so that the fat bit is towards the front and the thinner bit towards like the back or the face. Then what I'm going to try and do is try and get in a couple of nostrils. So I'm probably going to have to pick this up so I can see it. Probably best from above actually.
Yeah, we're going back to that one.
I'm going to try and push with the pointy end one side and then the pointy end at the other. It's very soft, so if you're not in a rush, you could give that a few minutes before you try to do that. Just trying to open up the nostrils a tiny bit more. I don't want them to be too like just rounded. I want them to be slightly longer. I don't know if they are on natural orangutan. I just wanted it to look like that. I'm going to nudge them this way a bit. Oops, squash that nostril. I figured the more open they are, like the wider they are, maybe the more flared they look, and then you'll look a bit angrier. I don't know what kind of mouth an angry orangutan has. Does it show its teeth when it's happy or angry? I don't know.
Yeah, bear with me, you have to try and get a different camera. I can't really see the angle.
Oh. What if I just hold it like that for you?
Yeah, that's perfect, thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to draw a line kind of closer to the bottom than to the top. You can do it straight or you can curve it up. I've gone ever so slightly curved downwards, but not by much. So that one, you can't really see it, is curved upwards.
I'm going to go back to the other camera. That's fine.
Oh, my tummy's going to start rumbling in a minute. I'm starving. I'm really, really hungry.
I will ask the question, did you have breakfast today? But I can guarantee you
Can
probably...
you see both of theirs from there? So this
Hang
one...
on, I'm changing cameras out, yeah.
This one's got a rounder nose, whereas this one I thinned it a bit more at the top. Just changes like what they look like, so it doesn't look like you're just repeating the exact same one all the time. I mean, obviously it's still an orangutan, but I mean, it's a different orangutan, different character. Okay.
That's what I like about your teaching. I mean, obviously I'm always biased because I like your teaching because, obviously...
Yeah, I make him say these things.
But nothing ever looks the same. I mean, I think when somebody can make the same thing again and again, it's great, but it's nice that every single character is individual.
It's very difficult to make things look the same though, unless you're using like a mould. It's like, even if I tried to make two look the same, I never make them identical. Like even if I'm trying to, I just cannot get them exactly the same. So I was thinking, well, I might as well change things. But for me, like, it's the only way, like, for me to learn new things. So a lot of the, like, I'm enjoying the Facebook Lives because I wouldn't normally get to sit and do this. And the one that I make before, the Facebook Live, like just before, sometimes it turns out better than the one that I make in the Facebook Live, and sometimes I prefer the one that I make in the Facebook Live, just 2 small ovals of the white, just big enough that they can slot into those eye sockets. I put a bit of water in the eye sockets as well, and I've forgotten what I was on about before that. But yeah, like it's a good chance for me to experiment, because you don't learn what's gonna work best if you don't play around and experiment. So that's why I like it. Oh, someone's at the door. I'm going to give him a scarf. Oh, Richard's knocking out the light.
You're on that camera there.
Okay, so hopefully you guys can see. Let's give him a little scarf like we gave the crocodile. He's got a little scar. He looks evil already. Okay, let's find some black. I have a pinch of black somewhere, guys. So, I think it's a delivery at the door, guys. So a little bit of black. This is where it gets stuck in all my fingernails because I pull it off with my fingers instead of cutting it off. I should really just cut it off. Okay, so I don't need much. In fact, I'm just wondering whether I should draw them on. Now I'm gonna use this instead. So I just stuck them on with tiny pieces of the black. Sometimes I draw them on. I'm just being too lazy to get the pen. It's literally just over the other side of the table for me, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put some water in. On the whites of the eyes. Now I can't decide which direction it should be looking at. That one was looking up. They do actually look quite cute and they look quite up. You look upwards when you're looking angry as well, though, don't you, sometimes?
It depends if you're short and looking at you're angry at the person taller than you.
It's going upwards again. The eyes are going upwards. So I just let me find a small knife so I can cut that in half, actually, because I don't want very big pupils. Again, the size of the pupils change what the character looks like. So usually if you go for really big pupils, it's cuter than having really small ones, usually. Not always, but usually. So these ones are going to be small. And I've kept these ones fairly rounded as well.
So small you can hardly see them.
They'll get a bit bigger when I press them in.
Oh yeah, definitely now.
Oops. And the problem is my fingernails kind of get in the way, so I'll use the big end of the Dresden tool to sort of give it a little push and nudge down. These ones actually look bigger than what I gave them in the other one. Does he look angrier though? He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he looks angrier. Usually if like the brow, not that it's proper eyebrow, but the brow line covers over the top of the eye, it really makes them look angry. Just going to put away this bit of black. Then we can start working on it. In fact, I'm going to put some dust on because that's what I did on the other one. So I did a tiny bit of dusting and then I went on to adding the arms and stuff, just because it's awkward to get in to the body once the arms were on there. So my tiny piece of kitchen roll, use a bigger piece of kitchen roll. Can you see it? Well, you won't be able to see right over here. I've got like food powder everywhere. Let me move some bits out of the way. So I'm just going to use an orange, just to make sure that whatever colour you're using just looks a bit darker than the colour of the paste. Actually, it looks very similar, but when it's on, can you see that when it's on?
Yeah, can you possibly move to that way a little bit? That's it.
So, and I'm using my little flat brush because I like it. But also from the side it's quite thin, so I can run it into the lines, the little crease lines. And you don't have to stick with this colour, you can go for different colours, like you can go for a more reddy colour or even like a black or a bit of brown. If the orange is too bright and you're thinking, oh, it's just really bright, I don't like it, just use a tiny bit of brown instead. Okay, so you can see I'm trying to run it amongst the lines, and then I'm not too worried if I'm missing the lines as well. And of course you guys can spend quite a while adding the colour. Does it actually show up this on camera?
You can see it's darkening, it's changing it. It's changing the colour a bit.
It's probably like something that I can see quite well in real life, but I'm not sure how well you guys can see it.
Yeah, I think that's one with that. When we live stream, the footage is never quite as good, is it? When you
No, I've got a bit of orange under his chin.
When you record.
I was going to give him a beard, wasn't I?
Deirdre said, "What? No pink?"
No, I considered it, but his face is so dark that I don't think I'll be able to get it on. Maybe I should try. Should I try? Should I see what it looks like with a bit of pink?
How about you get him?
When I'm angry,
get
my
some
face
arms
is
on. Get
pink.
some arms on him first.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to give him a beard, so it'll get in the way. I'm going to give him some pink then. We'll use a bit of the claret one. It's quite a dark pink. It sticks on the top. Let's see, I can't remember what colour I last used in my brush. You can see I haven't washed them since the Facebook Live the other day. I should do it.
You're cleaning out on your hand?
Yep, so that I can see if any colour comes out, what colour it was. I'm going to try and go for just a tiny bit of I told Emily said, are you going to use pink today? I said, no. She said, are you definite? I was like, yes. She said, Emily says, I'm going to put it in the links anyway because I don't believe you. I've gone for just under the eyes.
Do you know what you could do if you're doing like more primer? You could do.
Can you see it?
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see it.
Let me put the lid on that.
You could do a baboon. Then you get to use a pink on the bottom side of it.
Yeah, is that got black blue on? A baboon would actually be quite nice because it's completely different again, isn't it? Put some up there. Actually, I'm not going to put too much there because it's going to have hair up there. It was mainly just like the body bit that I wanted to get the shading on at the moment. Okay.
Thank you.
In fact, I might even take some black between his, where's the black? I'm going to use a tiny bit of black. Emily, sorry I didn't tell you I was going to use black, but I'm using black.
You just make it up as you go along, don't you?
Yep. It's the best way. Just put a little bit in the mouth. Just makes it look a bit more like it's actually shadowed there. Put a tiny bit in the scar, not too much. Maybe even I could shadow darken the bottom lip a bit more since it's kind of underneath that other one. I'm going to go slightly onto here.
No, okay, because you are more of a duster, aren't you, than like
Then what?
Well, like you've never really used airbrushes much, have you? It's always
No, I mean airbrushes are actually really good to use. I've never really practiced with one, and because I've never really practiced, I always end up avoiding it because I think, oh, I haven't got time to start practicing. Like,
just watch it.
I really need to practice with it first, I think, and then use it. Plus, I don't know if I actually need a different airbrush for like tiny fine things or not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I didn't notice you put a scar on it. I must have been out of the room when you put a scar.
You asked if I was going to give him a scar.
Yeah, but I must have.
I forgot the whites in his eyes. Just going to use my pen. But you can use modelling paste if you want to just put a small dot of modelling paste in there. That's fine. Okay. So wherever you put it in one eye, try and
just
put it in the
tilt
same
it that
place.
way a little bit. The other way. All right, other way.
This
camera there. That's it. Yeah.
Richard makes no sense when he's telling me which way to tilt things.
I forgot which camera you're on.
Yeah, he tries to show me with his hand and he angles it in a completely different direction to what he wants me to put it in. Beard. Or maybe I shouldn't put too much of a beard on. Colour. Beard on, no beard, guys. Well, I mean, I guess if I put a beard on and you don't like it, you guys know just not to put one on.
I guess it's weird. He looks quite short, but I think it's the camera angle. She's actually taller than.
He's actually taller than that one. I don't know if you can see them on there. It's the shoulders, like so. Oh, there goes my tummy. When I put the arms on, I actually put their shoulders on these really high up, so it gives them
Hunch,
more height. And also,
yeah.
he's got his arm in the air, so it does make a big difference. I'm just trying to decide whereabouts his arms are going to go. I'm just going to go for kind of a Malteser size piece maybe.
Right, you're on top down now.
And I'm going to roll it so we've got a thin bit either end and a thicker bit in the middle. And I'm just squashing it a little bit flatter. Oh, and it's completely stuck to my hand. should have put some cornflour down. I'm just laying him on his back for a second. My plan being to put it under here and have it so it just comes part way up there. Okay, that's the plan. So, where's my water brush? I'm going to put a little bit of water under the chin and just up around the sides of his face a little bit. Maybe I could even point it a bit more at the bottom where it's going to be like the longest bit. Okay. And it's up to you whether you want to put the hairlines in first or once it's in place. I always think, oh yeah, it's easier to do it first, but what I find is I end up squashing some out, so I'll just put a couple in. And then let's push that onto there.
That's pretty cool.
Do they look alright with the beard?
I like him with a beard.
They're not very ladylike, are they, these ones? I almost always turn things into ladies, so it makes a bit of a change for me to do male ones. Have you guys noticed it? Well, you will have noticed most of my characters are almost always women. I just like doing women more. I always think like there's more to do with the hairstyles and stuff, which I don't know that actually some men have longer hair and quite fancy hairstyles. But, yeah, I always feel like, oh, can you hear my tummy? It's like screaming.
That was a crazy noise.
Yeah, see, look, I think it looks alright with that. Let's give him a bit of orange dust before I forget. It's actually got a bit of black in this stuff. So.
Well, I'll do some questions.
Yeah.
Marielle's asked, do you use something in the fondant?
It's not fondant, isn't this? Yeah, it's so this is Saracino modelling paste. So hang on, I shouldn't put my brush in my mouth. But my brush is in my mouth. Hang on. It's not fondant I use. You can use fondant, but I wouldn't use it on its own if you're using fondant. So if you're using fondant, you really want some CMC or Tylose in it, so that it's a bit firmer. I personally don't get on very well with CMC and Tylose and fondant. I find it a lot harder to work with, but that's just my personal preference. There's a lot of people that only use fondant, which is fine. For me, the modelling paste, especially this modelling paste, is so much easier. It's got a dirty beard.
And the fractal dust you were using, it's just fractal orange and a fractal black dust. And was it fractal claret was the
one you did? I
used
a tiny bit of claret on the cheeks, yeah. Just a tiny bit, not too much. I'm actually just putting a bit of black in the crease between his tummy and his chest as well. I don't know if you can really see that too well or not. Just adding a little bit in there. Okay, so let's move on to arms, and I'm going to give him a tiny bit of tuft of hair on the top of his head. So we'll start with the legs at the bottom.
Quite a few people on from Australia today.
Hey everyone. Must be quite, what time? Is it late or early?
It must be late in Australia.
Yeah, late.
Yeah.
No.
A few people asking if you ever taught in Australia.
Yeah, I go every year.
Well, maybe not this year.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, in fact, usually Luke's watching, isn't he, fun? Yeah, Cake Decorating Solutions in Sydney always arrange every year for me to go, and I teach there, and then usually in Melbourne as well. So I usually, well, every year I've been to Sydney and Melbourne. Some years I've been to different places, so I've been to like Brisbane, Queensland. I went to Perth the other year, didn't I? New Zealand. I can't remember whereabouts I went in New Zealand. Should be plenty. That's about 15 in each leg.
So just, I forgot, what are we making now?
We're making his bottom legs.
Ah, right, okay.
But yeah, so I go. It doesn't sound like it's often, does it, if I say once a year, but it's more than I teach most places is once a year, apart from in Leeds. Okay, so I'm just going to need these. I tried to get them ready earlier, roughly in the sizes. So it was about 15 grams, roughly. Okay, so I'm just going to soften this up.
Right.
Everything's getting a bit sticky now.
You're on top down at the moment.
So if things get sticky, tiny bit of corn flour, just on your hands, to stop it sticking. Try not to mix it into the paste. Try and keep it just on your hands, just to stop it sticking to you. Okay. Shall I put his feet in the same position?
I apologise.
I don't know what other position they actually sit with their feet in, actually. I'm going to go for a little sausage like that. And then we'll just soften up the other one to match. So can you see when it's been left a while, it gets quite firm, but it's easy to knead back to be pliable. Yeah, if I was doing these with fondant, I think there's no way I could sit and do it in one go like this. I think I'd have to do that body shape, give it probably at least half a day, if not longer, to kind of firm up before I start adding any kind of weight onto it. So
it does. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever really seen you make much in
I
fondant.
don't really. I used when I worked in where was it? I went last year, Taiwan, and where else did I go? Oh no, it's just Taiwan that I used fondant. Because they used the fondant over there and they couldn't really get hold of much modelling paste. So we used fondant there, but the place I worked, we used the Massa fondant because it's quite a firm fondant. I'm just putting water on each side of him down near the bottom where his hips would be. In fact, let's change the shape of this. I'm going to press the leg at one side, you see, downwards, so that we're getting a bit that will be like where the hair's going to be. Yeah. We'll do the same on this one. I think one of my legs is a little bit longer than the other. Yeah, so because they're used to using the fondant and Tylos, they pre-mixed it all for me. I've already put water on, haven't I? So I'm going to curve each leg round a little bit like that. Okay. Now, I don't know, can you see that on there, Richard? I'm going to press it tight against the hip and move it around there like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm top down so you can see it from there. I'll go from the
so
side.
We're going to bend it like that.
Yeah.
Just flatten this bit here where I'm going to push it against him. This looks slightly different sizes, so just try pushing them around a tiny bit. Okay. So again, it looked weird at first, and I haven't put all the shading on the other one either. I kind of did it on the body, a bit like I have done on this one, but then I didn't get round to doing the arms yet because I'd only just done it. It was just a bit soft and I'd knocked those arms and legs off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some lines in so that the hair looks long on the legs. So you can go a bit shorter up near this top bit of the leg, but then as you're coming down to these bits, you want to make sure it's nice and long. I don't mind if you want to cut bits out, so if you want it to
would you
look
recommend
like
people
this.
to put a bit of corn flour under it as well so it's not sticking to the table?
Yeah, I mean, this clings a tiny bit, but it's not too bad. I mean, usually on the cutting mats it's not too bad, but if you've got hot hands, the paste would be sticky just because you've got quite warm hands. I'm just cutting, can you see little triangles out so that...
A bit more definition.
Yeah, let's just cut a tiny bit out there. Again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to.
Did you do that in your first one?
Pardon?
Did you do that with your first one?
Only in a couple of places. Not a lot. I didn't do much. Cut a little bit out there. But obviously you guys can spend much longer than this, okay, than I am doing. You know, it's not the neatest because I haven't spent a very long time on it. And if you're making it for somebody, I'm not suggesting you have to spend hours and hours on something that should be fairly simple, but you know, don't rush it. And don't think that if I've done something in an hour that you have to get it done within an hour. Okay. Usually if it takes me an hour, it usually takes students about 3 times the amount of time it takes me. Generally. Not always, but generally I would say.
But it's like when you're doing this before the live, it takes you probably 20 minutes.
Well, some are quicker and some are longer. And then usually if I think, well, actually it didn't take me too long, it wasn't too bad, then I think I can start tweaking it and adding to it because I know that it's not going to take me ages. And then that's when it starts taking longer because I started deciding to tweak it. Okay, this one's looks like it's got hairy legs. I think on the other one I didn't do the hair as long at the back of the legs, I just kept it kind of long at the front of the legs. So this one's got full furry legs. Okay, then I need to decide how his hands are going to go. I quite like them where they've got the arms kind of just slumped out to the sides of them. But the arms are really, I think, what make them look very orangutan like with the long hair, and I need to save some hair for the top of his head.
I just spin him that way a little bit towards the camera.
This way?
That's it, perfect, thank you. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, there's long arms. I guess they're very ape-like, aren't they? Move that away. So I think it was about 35 grams in each arm. Let's see how much paste I have got here for if I've got roughly enough.
Right, I'm just going to change camera if you bear with me.
69. Oh, almost perfect. Almost 70. It's good enough. Let's try cut it in half. Let's see. That one's 35, so this one must be just less. I don't know why I bothered doing that. It's really not enough. It's gonna make a difference, but that's fine. I'm just gonna move this to one side because they get in my way with the scales when I'm working. I'm also going to just nudge that to one side because I get it on everything. Okay, so have I actually got my hands in shot? I realise as I'm gathering more things on the board,
Yeah, no, you're alright.
I keep moving my hands out the way and I don't know if you guys can see it.
You're alright now when you top down, so you're not too bad.
So the first thing I'm going to do is soften them and roll them just into sausage shapes. The last one, I just made sure that it went from the board to just taller than the head.
Yeah, about keep it there a second. There you go.
If you want to go longer, you can go longer. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on him that's orange that I've missed off, but I think this is most of it. Just soften it up again. Otherwise, if it's too hard, if the paste is really firm, it's harder for me to put the hairlines in it. Also, if I've got it nice and soft and flexible, I can work with it for a little while, whereas if I don't need it enough, when I start working with it, it's going to start cracking just because it's so cold.
Right, I'm going to look for questions. If anybody's got any questions, read this like Facebook Live or a couple of other things, ask away, and I'll pick them out.
Oh, guys, we've got a treat for you on next Thursday. I think next Thursday I'm still going to do the morning Facebook Live as normal, but Sylvia Mancini's going to do a Facebook Live for us Thursday afternoon. I'm going to double check the time for you, but it's next Thursday and it's the afternoon.
Is that going to be in the community group?
It's going to be in the community group, that one, yeah. When I put the arms on...
Right, bear with me, changing camera.
My arm in the way. I'm going to start them...
Wow, they're massive.
Yeah. Just above, so that he's got like big square shoulders. And then they're going to come out down here. I don't know which position to put them in.
Don't know. This is where Zoe will play around now for 10 minutes deciding, change it. No.
Where would his arms be if he's angry? Around somebody's neck. I was thinking I could put both up by his head, but actually I think I'm risking that it might fall off.
That does look pretty cool though. Choices. What do the audience think?
I think I might actually go with down. This is when, if I had my mobile phone like not attached as the camera, I'd start Googling some images to see what looked best.
Becky's asked if they can buy all the fractal dusts in a set. I'm afraid not at the moment. Must be. I think there's over. I think there's over 100 colours, so it'd be quite a big set. I mean, we could probably make something around, but
they don't like come together.
Yeah,
as a set.
There's so many
just be
colours
that
they
we
do.
would give you one of each kind of thing.
Yeah. There we go, back to the top down now.
I still can't decide. You know what, I'm gonna prep them anyway, ready. So a bit like we did with the legs.
Yeah, I like them down. Where are we going with the arms? I've missed.
I think maybe down.
Yeah, a few people said they like them down by the sides.
Yeah. I think they sometimes have them just
or out
to the side.
Like he's meditating. Well, that's quite good.
Yeah, I think that would look nice. An angry meditator.
An angry meditator.
So if it's out to the side, it's going to be fairly
back
close.
on the camera then, yeah.
Fairly close to his body, so I'm actually not going to need to pull the long hair down too much here. It will be more the bottom part of the arm. Actually, it probably would mean I can thin that top bit slightly. Can you see? And then have the long hair coming out down here. Could even go over his leg there so that you see how long the hair is. Yeah, I think, like that. I was kind of squaring it off a tiny bit. Can you actually see that, Richard?
Yeah.
On the shoulder. So let's put some hairlines in this. I'll just do it while it's off on this bit, and then.
Just change it.
So again, it doesn't matter if you need to cut some bits out. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut a few bits out of this one. I won't have to worry about doing underneath because it should be hidden. Oops. Put quite a few bits out there. Oh, and a bit there. What are you looking at, Richard? Richard laughs at stuff all the time.
Deirdre said you could have him scratching his butt.
He could be scratching his butt. Maybe his other arm will be scratching his butt. Okay, so I'm going to stick it on there, and then I will put some more lines on afterwards. His arms look really long, don't they?
They do, but you could, I mean, the thing is paste, you could chop a little bit off the end if you need to, couldn't you?
If I need to, yeah.
It's probably easy to make something longer shorter rather than make something shorter longer.
So water where it's going to attach the body, and maybe a little bit under the fur, but only on the bit that's going to come over the leg. Like, don't put any under where it's going to be touching the table.
Yep.
Is that whereabouts it went? So I'm just going to bring that to there. Just careful not to squash his face. Can you guys see it okay?
If you tilt, yeah, that's perfect. That's good.
So give it a good press on. We don't want it dropping off, and it may well still drop off. We'll see. So let's put some hairlines up here. And kind of down here. Sometimes when I put the hairlines on, I'll press really hard so that it forces it onto the bit below.
With the other chap we made earlier on, did he have something in his arm to help it stay
Yeah,
up?
I had to. Yeah, I tried without, and it kept falling. So he's got a cocktail stick. See, he's much softer than this one. I don't know why. That runs in this bottom section of his arm into the body. So there's just a stick in there, just a little cocktail stick.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't get it to work without.
What's the tiny knife you've been using? It's just that, yeah.
That's the Serrat.
I'm on top down there.
What's it called? That one.
Just ergonomic craft knife.
Ergonomical.
Ergonomic.
But it's not the mini. One of them's called mini that people keep buying thinking it's this.
The mini one's got rotating, so it follows you around.
It's got a smaller blade as the mini one.
Yeah, and the mini one's got a rotating blade.
It also doesn't have a blue handle. It's got a clear handle, I think, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So the other one's good. It is still like a nice knife, but it's got a much smaller blade, so it's ideal for small things. Yeah, I'm just trying to put some lines on the back. But my arm's sliding about a little bit. So it's not got very neat lines in the back.
What is your secret to using the tool making hair to look so real?
I'm not sure. It does look real when I do it, so I'm not sure. I think usually for me, it's that I don't really care that much when I'm putting hairlines in. That sounds so awful. It's not that I don't care, but I don't fret about every hairline being right, especially like with this kind of thing. Yeah, and I'm not convinced I've ever done hair that looks like realistic, to be honest. I'm trying to think of anything I've made with realistic hair.
Yeah, I mean you don't go for super realistic though, do you?
No,
I mean unless you're doing
like a few lines in.
Yeah, unless you're doing because you don't really do life size things.
No. What did we say? Scratching his butt.
Well, no. Somebody mentioned scratching. You don't have to have him scratching his butt.
I'm trying to work out what it would look like. I feel like he should be playing with his beard. Should he be playing with his beard?
It could be him doing this.
Yeah, that's playing with his beard.
Okay.
We'll see. His hand might not stay on there. So, bent it again.
Alright, I'm just going to change cameras.
Let's
Bear with me.
pull down the hair.
So you're repeating the same process a bit, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just the same thing. Yeah, I'm not going to pull down too much on here because I think if it's tight to him.
If anybody's asked, a few people mentioned that we're out of Serrat tools. The delivery we got this morning is all our Serrat stock. So
is it? Is that who was just at the door?
Yeah, it will be going online a little bit later on today. So we are back in stock with all the Serrat tools. So they will be going back online.
Are you going to do that after the video?
I've got to get all the orders packed. It will be going back on today. I'm not giving it a time because then I won't stay to it.
Right, so I've put lines on this side for that. I could actually put some on the back, but I'll do that in a bit.
Just want to pop them against it again.
Okay. I won't do them on this side because it's going to bend this way.
Can you spin him that way a little bit? Yeah, that's it, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I just need to make sure his shoulder starts in a similar place to that last one. And then we'll bring that up there. So the hairlines need to be on here. I think sometimes when I put hairlines in, I try and like give it a little twist sometimes in places rather than having it completely straight lines. Maybe that makes it slightly more realistic. You know, so that they kind of come together at points sometimes in the corner rather than having just dead straight lines everywhere. Just get a bit of hair on there. Sometimes like I'll just press through with that and let that cut into it for me as well. Yeah, it's cut. I think has Emily got a link for this for everyone anyway, hasn't she? The little knife probably.
I think so, yeah.
I think Emily will put something up for you guys that were interested in this knife. It is, to be fair, I like it. I think the idea is that you actually hold it like that so you get more control.
You're on this camera now, yeah.
I hold it like this. I don't know if that's right or not, but I quite like that it's just got a small handle. Like I feel like it doesn't get in my way and it makes it like a bit more lightweight. Sometimes I swap to like the big metal handled one when I want something that's heavier weight wise. Can you see by cutting out those bits it makes it look more hair-like though? If I'd have left it completely straight and I hadn't cut bits out, it doesn't look as good. Right, let's put some water on. I'm just putting some water on the inside of the arm. You just need to squeeze it at the top so it looks like it's a similar shape to the other one.
I'm just trying to get...
We haven't swapped it. You were supposed to swap it to the other side so people could went just looking at my hand. Is your mum in today? Your mum online today?
I've not seen my mum online today, no.
Richard's mum sometimes pops online to say hello.
Let's get your mum online.
No, we don't. My mum can't work a computer. Okay, so let's put it up to there.
I'm not sure my mum can.
I hope your mum's not watching now. You just said that. It'll be your mum ringing to tell you off.
Right, you on that camera then?
Okay, so let's see if we can push that on there. Anywhere where it's touching against something, just see if you can put a bit of water to hold it in place. Okay, it might drop a little bit. We'll come back to that and sort that out again. Let's just put some more hairlines in up here. And of course I should really do the back as well. I don't think you guys can see the back too well. I haven't actually put too much on the back there. Put a little bit on. Okay. Then he needs hands and feet. Oh, and actually no, let me put some hair on the top of his head. I'm not sure if he suits hair on the top of his head. The other one I really wanted some hair on the top of the head because he was like itching his head and I wanted it to look a bit scruffy. Whereas this one, I don't know, does he want hair, does he not? Let's see what it looks like with a piece of hair.
Just tilt him this way a little bit.
Which way?
Toward, yeah, that's it, yeah, perfect.
So, just take a tiny bit.
Oh yeah, could give him a banana.
They could. That's too much work.
I love it when Zoe says, I could. That's, yeah, that's not happening.
Sometimes I think, oh yeah, I could, it would look nice. Something that you think is simple, like a banana, is the kind of thing that actually I have to spend ages faffing with.
It's always the little things that take the time.
It is like the tiny little extra bits that actually they do give it like nice extra detail. It's those extra bits that kind of make it look really good. What do we think? Does he want a piece of hair on it?
We're just gonna this up. Yeah.
And then do we want it like curved that way, or does he want it like that? I'm gonna put it like that. So it's just a little teardrop with some lines on. And then we've curved the end around. I should have really put a bit of water on that, but I haven't. But you know what? If I don't put water on it, it means I can remove it easily if I decide I don't want it there. Just trying to see if it would suit any more little pieces. Adding on to that extra.
Oh, we've got no hair.
People prefer it without. I'm going to put a little bit there as well. It did actually look alright without hair, this one. I'm doing, you know what I always tell everybody not to do, where I'm like, sometimes less is more.
You
but
do
yet
like
you just
to...
keep going and going and going.
What I need to do...
Weird hairs now. I'll save my little extra bits of orange for if we need any pieces that kind of go around the hands and feet. So let's move on to hands and feet. Should we go darker grey or lighter grey? I've got lots of dark grey. What do you reckon, dark grey or light grey?
I'd go light grey.
Okay, we'll give them light grey. Light grey hands and feet.
You're on top down at the moment.
Okay, so I didn't weigh this earlier. He actually has one foot much bigger than the other that I did earlier as well. That's plenty big enough. Let's see. Oh, I moved the scales out of the way, didn't I? Let's see roughly what size this is. I don't think he needs ridiculously big hands and feet. I don't think. 5 to 6 grams. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm just going to make the others look similar size-wise. I know I should weigh them all out so they're the same. But I'm not. That's a bit smaller. Maybe the slightly smaller one could be for the hands.
How much orange do you think you've used in total for this one gorilla?
Well, how much did I use in the body? Can you remember?
Nope.
I used about...
I'm looking at your...
I think I used almost...
I'm looking at your scrolls on a bit of paper there, trying to add it up.
No, that's from the gorilla. I used more than the gorilla. I think I used almost 100 grams today in the body.
Do you reckon a block of Saracenia 250 would give you enough?
Who was watching earlier when I weighed out the body? Who remembers what I put in the body? There's about 35 grams in each arm, which is 70. I think you'd get a gorilla out of one pack if you're doing it similar size to this with a little bit of orange left over.
Yeah. You need a little bit a few other colours too.
Yeah, and then I used the blue and black together for this, but you don't have to put blue in it. And then I used a bit of white again to make it lighter for the nose and feet.
How long do you think you've been going for now?
Well, I can see the time. I've almost been going an hour. I can see the clock. I can see the clock today. I can't usually see it. There's normally a light in the way, but Richard knocked the light over earlier. Actually, do you know what? Now I've done that, it's massive. That's fine, you can have massive feet. So I'm just kind of squashing down these ovals. I haven't spent very long prepping them to get them nice, which I should have probably done. I'll go for the bigger knife this time. I'm going to cut really far to one side. Okay, and then we're going to cut it so it's a bit shorter, so this is like a thumb.
So it's a little bit like you did the hands for the gorilla,
Yeah, I think I did them this way anyway.
Yeah.
Then we're going to cut this bit with 2 more slices, but can you see we don't cut as far down here as we do on that one? Also, he doesn't have the right amount of fingers.
Yeah, I remember that on the gorilla as well.
But it's fine. That's what I like. If you want to cut more fingers, it's absolutely fine. I'm just going to round the ends off a little bit. So again, I didn't spend very long rounding them off. I kept them fairly squarish, but you can spend much longer than I have done if you want. Because when I've done this, I am going to be prepping for the Bride and Groom online class.
So
getting things sorted out, ready for that.
Some people may not know that we're doing that, so do you want to
Do you want to what?
announce?
We're doing an online Bride and Groom class. Well,
Yeah.
I need to sort out the details today. That's what I'm doing today. Right, so I'm just trying to work out would the big thumb be. I think the thumb would be inwards, yeah. So let's pull this
Right, you switch
in like that. And like that. Am I above or on from the side?
You're above at the moment, now you're going to the side.
And then we'll stick them on there. We'll do his toes look better.
Just watch that hand out the way, because the camera's quite low down just to get it in the right angle. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so it's up to you whether you want to leave like these toes or fingers or whatever they are upwards, or if you want to kind of curve them around a little bit. I've curved them around on the other one. I'm just going to have to move this hair out of the way a tiny bit so that I can... I think it's a really bad camera angle because all people can see is my hand.
Yeah, it's good for...
It's good for what?
Well, we'll change it next week.
So I'm going to push that onto the end of the leg. So put a bit of water on there. You can put the water on the leg or on the foot, whichever you prefer. Just watch for catching your fingernail in there. I've caught my fingernail in where I've pressed it. So if you want, press it in with something like a ball and tool instead. Just curl that little toe around. Let's see if we can get the other one on. I've got some more water on the back of this.
Crazy how just putting one foot on makes him change completely.
And we'll press onto that. Oops. So give him a good press. Okay, we'll leave a bit of a dip, but it's better to press firmly than it not actually attach. Okay, let's curl these little toes around like that. His kind of hair's in the way of his feet anyway.
Deirdre thinks he needs a Tasmanian devil friend.
Yeah, no, I knew Deirdre would think that.
I did actually mention about doing the Tasmanian devil this morning to Zoe, and I was told that it doesn't really go with the jungle theme at the moment.
My jungle theme is because...
Albeit I don't think giraffes are in the jungle either. Or a Pegasus.
Giraffes are in the jungle.
Are they? I thought they were in like savannas and bits.
That's part of the jungle, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Is it not?
No.
Well, they're at a zoo. Actually, Tasmanian devils are at the zoo as well. Although not in England. Okay, let's do the hands. The hands are probably going to be quite big. Big hands are okay. It was for, look, I was going to tell people what it was for and then I forgot what I was on about. Horses Walkabout that we do each year has a theme. Last year it was like underwater theme. This year it is jungle theme. Is it jungle? Yeah, I think it is jungle theme. So I figured if all my little animals were jungle themed, then I can actually use them then for my window display. So I don't know if Richard responded to the lady that asked if she could buy one of my giraffes or not. Did you reply to the lady that
I
asked
don't
if she
know,
could buy one of my giraffes?
I'm afraid we have got
But the answer is no.
we've
Sorry.
got so many comments at the moment and emails, and we are as ever running a little bit a long way behind with everything.
Yeah, we're just getting more messages, I think, than we can actually cope with.
So if you're awaiting a reply or we've not replied back, commented back, or anything, you've not been forgotten. We are just pretty behind at the moment.
Unless it was like a month ago when you messaged us, in which case it's very possible that we've not seen it.
Yeah.
In which case, message us again. So same. We're just doing exactly the same for the hands as what we did for the feet here. Look, I've got a hair stuck in there, and it's not even my colour hair.
Is it the orangutan's hair?
No, it was black. So remember, the important thing is don't cut this line as far down as that one. Yeah. Anyway, so my figures were gonna go on the display for the Horseworth Walk of Art in our window. Also, they don't travel overly well to post them. I know that some of you guys do post your toppers, and that's fine. You guys probably parcel them up better than me. But no, I don't like to post them out and things. But they are going to be used, these ones, for my window display. I wonder how it holds its hands. Can you actually see that over there?
Yeah. It's got a long arm.
Yeah.
Long arm of the law.
Long arm what?
Of the law.
Maybe I'll curl it around that way. Or this way. Somebody wanted to do meditating. Do you hold your hands that way when you meditate?
Yeah.
I can't decide what's best to do with his hand.
I think it up's actually quite cool. Like, the meditating way.
So let's pour a bit of water on the end of here. Now it might stick, it might be. We have to add a bit of a stick on there to hold it in place. I think if I give it time to dry, it should be okay. Just trying to nudge it there. The only thing is because it's quite soft at the moment, I'm going to make quite big marks. It's also wrinkling a little bit, this one. I don't know how gorillas would hold their hands. Not gorillas, orangutans. Okay. His hand's too big to go under his chin.
Can you just spin that way a little bit?
I need him to face me for a second because I can't see him.
That's just not good enough.
Okay, so yeah, I think his arm's too high up for him to be playing with his chin. I'm going to have to change that, and it's going to have to just... No, he looks like he's covering his bits. Oh, see, things don't always work at all. I'll just leave him like that, I think. Oh dear. Maybe if I unstick it off his feet, maybe he could be grabbing his face. He looks less angry if his hand's to the side of his face like that.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Doesn't
That's good.
Richard says that no matter what. Sometimes when Richard's just fed up and he wants me to hurry up and finish, he goes, looks good. Looks good. I'm going to stick it to the side of his face. Our plan was under the beard, but he's just too slumped down for it to work under the beard. So I'm putting water under the hand, but on the side of his face. Let's see if we can get that on there. So it's going to take a bit of manoeuvring. The light grey is quite soft, so you can see I'm kind of squashing it a little bit by accident when I'm doing this. Hopefully it'll balance like that. Again, if not, we can always put a stick in there if it's not gonna stay. You can see I squash the fingers a little bit, so they're not quite the right shape now. It looks much less angry now.
Can you?
Hand is like that.
Right. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Do you not think? Isn't it funny how sometimes like where you position their hands can change whether their expression looks like they were angry or not?
Yeah, no, it doesn't look angry.
Because that's not the kind of thing you do with your hand, is it, when you're angry? I don't think.
Banana.
If I make a banana, I won't get time to plan the bride and groom class that everybody was after.
If we make a banana, we won't be getting today's orders out.
Yeah, I do need to help Richard post and pack some items that you guys have ordered as well. So then we could then finish dusting him. Because obviously I dusted the body, but I haven't put any dusting on the arms. Because all of that is just freshly stuck, you would really want to put that to one side and just leave it a little bit before you do the dusting. So you can see even the one earlier hasn't actually dried yet. But then when you dust in the next bits, you really want to concentrate on the lines between the fur. Can you see anything at all when I use this hand?
Yeah. Well, not now you're there.
I asked Richard, I realise you guys I should be asking. Can you guys actually see?
I'll move it away from that camera. I was just trying to get the angle when you're doing those bits.
Did everybody get the link to the little brush that I'm using as well? How many of you guys have got one of these brushes? I love mine. Can you see it there?
No, I will do. It's not on that camera at the moment.
Oh, okay.
We need to get a full-time.
you
We need to get a full-time cameraman.
That's what you are.
You got that?
So I'm just trying to get the colour in the creases here. So can you see in between the creases? And you don't have to put any shading on at all. Like I say, I haven't spent very long making it actually very neat, but you can spend longer. So I'll put more down here because that would be kind of shadowed by the top one. And remember, if you want it darker still, put a bit of black. I should really have opened this tissue out, but it's what I was using for the green earlier. That's why it's kind of folded up.
Green?
Yeah.
On the
On
crocodile?
the crocodile.
I was thinking, where's the green on that one?
I don't like to throw things away, so it's the same one. Just adding a bit of dark black to make it even darker still. Can you see on there, so that that bottom leg looks even darker? You can add some into the creases as well if you want, or you might want to just keep the black anywhere that would be really shadowed. So like in that elbow crease there, along here, put a bit more orange in there as well. So I won't fully finish dusting this while you guys are watching, because actually I realise I'm rushing it a bit while I'm doing this online, but also it would actually take me a while to sit and dust this properly. Not all day or anything, but longer than what I'm sort of spending on it now. And I was saying something else as well then, wasn't I? I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying, Richard? Dust. I was going to talk about the dust. Sorry, yeah. So the dust, can you see I do drop it on the mat? It is a pain to get dust off your mat. That's why usually I try and keep it on kitchen roll. It does come off. It just takes a while. It's not something that's quick to get off, unfortunately.
It's like when you get it all over your hands.
It comes off your hands easier than it does the mat. Sticks in my fingernails a while.
We've got a few people that said they'd happily to be hired to be the cameraman.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matthew.
Have you watched everyone now, Matthew?
I think quite a lot of people that we've got on have watched. I recognise a lot of names.
It's nice. It's nice that the same people come back as well. That I'm not scared you all off.
Not yet, anyway. Well, I think Tuesday seems to be always a busier Facebook Live than the Thursdays.
Yeah, but if you're making cakes, Thursday's a busy day. Because you make cakes mainly for weekends for people, so on Thursdays you're busy with other things, whereas Tuesday, I mean, people are still probably busy Tuesdays, but you've usually got a bit more chance of getting some free time than you have on the other days. Yeah, so I'd just continue like this. So who's going to be tuning in Thursday afternoon to watch Sylvia? I need to check the time. I want to say she said 4:30, but I think that was Italian time. So is that 3:30 here? Or is it 5:30 here?
I think there are a couple of hours.
I thought it was just 1 hour difference.
1 hour is Paris and France. I think Italy's further. I think Italy's too. Maybe.
Oh, is it? Oh, right, I didn't realise there was that big a difference.
Well, I'll have to check.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm not going to keep going and going like that, but maybe a bit of black actually on his mouth. Oh, I was asking if people had these brushes.
Always a lot. Yeah, people have commented. A lot of people have got the Sylvia brushes and they all think
really
they're
like them. Yeah.
They're just a good quality brush, aren't they? I think.
They're really nice. I do really like them. Yeah, Richard only just let me have one of these ones. And I love it. I've been using it for everything. Just because I like the feel
just
of
let
it.
you have it. It's the first time you ever asked if you could take one off the shop floor.
No, you said we didn't have any in stock every time. And then when
Well, we didn't have one originally.
I was like, oh, there is one there.
Yeah. You're making me sound like I'm a bad cop. Bad guy.
You didn't let me do anything.
Anyway.
Okay, so a little bit black under there. I am going to stop. Look, I'm going to stop dusting. Hopefully it was alright for you guys. Which one did you prefer, the gorilla or the orangutan? If you watched both, that is. Obviously, if you didn't watch the gorilla, you won't be able to answer that.
We'll see. We'll give them in 20-30 seconds. We'll see some comments come through.
I don't think it's that delayed.
It is. Sometimes it's a half a minute behind. Yeah, I think it's the speed of the internet or how good the internet is.
Is it? Oh, okay. And of course, you should really wash your brushes after you've used them. I won't wash that yet because obviously I'll go after them. Finish dusting them. Can you actually see them both? Have I got them both in shot? Do you want me to turn them that way around for you, Richard?
Yeah, I'm getting this ready for when you start speaking.
Right, I was speaking already.
Okay.
See, but that one hasn't got a stick or anything in, which is unusual for me not to put sticks in because I prefer them to be like really secure, but it stood up fine without any kind of stick or anything within that.
The one with his hands up, can you spin that around a little bit?
Oh, I forgot he's still got the stuff in there.
It's
Look.
facing me, I meant.
Can you guys see that? What's facing you?
Right.
It was already facing you. That's why I turned it around the other way. Yeah, so once that's dry, but I could really pull it out now. Pull that. I'm going to put it back in actually because it doesn't feel that dry yet. I'll just pull that out. Just make sure you don't stick it in with water. So if you're playing around with arm positions and stuff, sometimes you might have to prop a bit of paste, or I could have used like a bit of sponge or something in there to just hold it up just till it dries. Okay. Thank you very much everybody that sent stars. What was I supposed to tell people today? I don't think I had any exciting news today, did I?
Super.
Pardon?
Well, that's better.
What?
I'm so zoomed in.
Oh, okay. What did I have to tell you guys today? Thank you for watching. Thank you for the stars. Watch again on Tuesday.
Apologise if we've not replied to you yet.
Yes. If you've just commented on a post and we haven't responded, please do send us a private message though, because we don't always see the comments. And I know sometimes people comment on a lot of things and I don't always see them. So it's not that I'm ignoring you, so please don't get cross and upset. It's that I just don't see everything. So please do send us a private message if it's something that you do definitely need an answer to, or even an email, because we pick up emails as well. I'm going to work on this bride and groom thing this afternoon, so hopefully by this evening we'll have everything available for that. The class won't be online this evening, but it'll be available to purchase, I think, this evening.
Or tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'm just being
Tonight
realistic.
or tomorrow morning. The plan was this afternoon to get it ready for, but I started falling asleep when I was working on it last night. And it'll be the same as the basic figure one. So if it won't be the same, but I mean the same kind of format in that it's a Facebook Live, but if you don't watch it live, it's not going to matter because you can watch it back after. But obviously you won't be able to watch the tutorial until I've done the Facebook Live. So you won't be able to buy it like tomorrow and watch it tomorrow. I've forgotten what dates we said. Second week in June, is it?
Yeah.
Second week in June in the evenings. And I can't remember if it's actually more sessions.
There will be
the
more
same
sessions.
sessions.
More sessions.
I've written it in my diary, so I have planned it out. Because I won't be able to make as many figures as I did on the basic figures, because the basic figures are much quicker to do, whereas the bride and groom take a bit longer. I'll be making like a bride and a groom, but obviously if you're doing like same-sex couples, you can make 2 brides or 2 grooms, that's fine. But obviously I need to do one of each so that you guys get to see how to do both of them, and then you can kind of adapt and change them to whatever's best for yourselves. Hopefully you like that one as much as you did the basic figure class. I'll put out more details later.